Scientists around the world have been trying for years to develop a blood test for cancer. A team in America think they might have done it. They say they can detect in the bloodstream the proteins and changes to DNA which are generated by cancer cells. They're known as biomarkers, and identifying them is a real breakthrough.
Cancer doesn't wait. By the time symptoms show up, it's often too late. But here's the shocking truth. Today, you don't need to wait for symptoms. You can catch cancer early with a simple blood test, some costing less than your grocery bill. Forget the old idea that screenings are only for the sick or the rich. In this video, we're breaking down the top 10 blood tests, both clinic and at-home kits, that could save your life. Welcome to the Ageless Protocol. Why most people wait too long. Cancer is the stealth killer. Most cases are discovered when symptoms appear, and by then, things are already out of control. That's why early detection is your best defense, not chemotherapy. But many people avoid tests because they think they're expensive, invasive, or only for high-risk folks. That's bullshit. The truth is, there are blood tests today that are surprisingly affordable, and they don't require surgery or scanning. If I tell you about a test you can't afford, it's useless. So we've researched, dug through clinical data, and found real tests, clinic and at home, that detect cancer early, cost less than you think, and may save your life. Before your eyes glaze over, check the links below. We've locked in exclusive discounts on supplements your doctor won't tell you about. For 1, Galleri MCED Multi-Cancer Blood Test. One of the biggest breakthroughs right now is the multi-cancer early detection MCED panels, especially the Galleri test by Grail. This test attempts to detect signals of more than 50 different cancers through methylation patterns in cell-free DNA, cfDNA. The idea: tumors shed DNA fragments into the blood long before you feel a thing. Here's the harsh part. The list price is around $949 per test. Many insurance plans won't cover it. Some institutions are offering lower prices. For example, at Frodtert and MCW Labs, it costs $789 out of pocket. Rush University offers it for $749 in certain settings. That price is steep, but compared to treating late-stage cancer, it might be a bargain. Also, a few institutions offer payment plans. The test isn't FDA approved yet, just TLIA certified, so it's not a diagnostic tool. You'll need follow-up scans or biopsies if it flags something. Number 2, Guardant Shield Colorectal Cancer Blood Test. If you want a more focused test, especially for colon cancer, check Guardant's Shield. This blood test was FDA approved 2024 for colorectal cancer screening. Early trials show sensitivity around 83% for colorectal cancers. Price? The self-pay version is approximately $895. Because it's FDA approved now, there's hope it'll be covered by Medicare or insurance in more settings. Right now, though, many pay out of pocket. This is powerful because colorectal cancer is often silent until late. A blood-based test gives you an alternative to stool tests or colonoscopies. But note, it's still a screening tool. A positive result demands colonoscopy for confirmation. Number 3, proColon and Shield versus traditional stool tests. Let's not forget older blood tests like proColon. It detects methylated septine DNA, which colorectal cancer cells often shed. Sensitivity is about 70%. The cost is roughly $192 when self-pay. That's far cheaper than MCED panels, but also far less powerful. On the other hand, stool DNA tests like Cologuard combine DNA and occult blood analysis. Many users pay $0 if covered by insurance or Medicare. For those paying out of pocket, the cost can still be several $100s. These stool tests are more widely accepted. But if a blood test for cancer fails you, a company will call it, "You didn't fall in our target." If a stool test fails, they still pay lip service to colonoscopy as gold standard. That's why combining tools often gives better coverage. We've covered the heavyweight, high-cost multi-cancer panels and colorectal-specific options. But if you're like most people, You want something effective and affordable, especially at-home kits. In the next section, I'm going to show you lesser-known home kits, hybrid clinic home tests, and cancer marker panels. Number 4. Basic Tumor Marker Panel Female CA125, CEA CA153. If you want a more budget-friendly option, look at the basic cancer panels that combine tumor marker tests. For instance, some female cancer panels include CA125, CEA, and CA153 bundled together. One lab offering Cancer Basic Panel Female costs about $199 plus a small ordering fee. That's a big drop from the 900-plus tests like Galleri, but there's a trade-off. These marker-based panels are less sensitive for early-stage cancers, and many cancers don't produce elevated markers until the disease has already progressed. Still, they catch cancers that align with those markers, especially in women: ovarian, breast, gastrointestinal. CA125 alone, for example, has a wide reported cost range, from as low as $68 to as high as $679, depending on lab and region. That kind of pricing spread shows how much markup or lab network matters. These panels give you some coverage at a manageable price. Use them wisely alongside imaging, clinical screening, and risk assessment, not as your only defense. Number 5. CEA Carcinoembryonic Antigen Test. CEA is one of the classic tumor markers. It is most often used in monitoring colorectal cancer, but it also shows in some lung, breast, and gastrointestinal cancers. In many labs, ordering CEA alone might cost around $49. Why bother with CEA? Because it's cheap and widely available. If you have elevated CEA levels, it doesn't prove cancer, but it flags you for further testing, colonoscopies, imaging early. Many people skip this because it might be false positive, but in medicine, a signal is better than silence. The downside is that CEA can be elevated for non-cancer reasons: smoking, inflammation, and liver problems. So don't freak out if it's high. Just use it as a trigger to dig deeper. Number 6. PSA, prostate-specific antigen, men's marker. Men get left out sometimes, but PSA remains one of the most affordable cancer blood tests for prostate cancer. Many labs price PSA between $30 and $70, depending on service region and lab network. Prices vary. Some bundling might increase cost. PSA isn't perfect. It has false positives and can lead to overdiagnosis. But in men over 50 or with a family history, PSA is still a practical frontline tool. If your PSA is creeping up, you can act early with imaging or specialist referral. Also, some home lab services allow you to order PSA tests online and go to a nearby draw center. The difference between clinic and home-ordered PSA isn't huge, just convenience and cost markups. Number 7. AFP and HE4, liver and ovarian markers. AFP, alpha-fetoprotein, is a known marker for liver cancer, hepatocellular carcinoma, and some germ cell tumors. Some labs include AFP in cancer panels, and ordering AFP alone might cost somewhere between $50 and $150, depending on the lab. For ovarian cancer, HE4 is becoming a complement or alternative to CA125. Combined markers like HE4 plus CA125 are used clinically to improve cancer detection specificity. Some women's cancer panels now feature both to reduce false positives. These markers aren't go-to for everyone. They're niche. But for people with risk factors, for example, family history, disease of liver or ovaries, adding them gives extra safety net without blowing your budget. Next, I'll reveal home cancer screening kits, hybrid clinic home models, emerging startups, and the ultimate question: which of these 10 tests gives the best return on investment for your life and your wallet? Number 8. At-home multi-cancer screening kits. In 2025, at-home cancer blood testing isn't science fiction. It's already hitting the market. Some startups are offering home-based blood draw kits that you mail to certified labs. For example, Let's Get Checked now offers cancer-related blood tests like tumor marker panels for under $200, all without stepping into a clinic. You prick your finger or use a small collection kit, send it back, and get results online within days. This model is exploding because it's private, affordable, and convenient. But don't kid yourself. No home kit is a final diagnosis. A red flag on an at-home test must be followed by a full lab panel or imaging. Still, for people who avoid hospitals, this is a game changer. Number 9. Liquid Biopsy Emerging Kits ctDNA Tests. The next wave of innovation is liquid biopsy kits. These tests look for circulating tumor DNA, ctDNA fragments in the bloodstream. While Galleri is the famous one, other startups are chasing affordability. Companies like Freenome and Thrive Earlier Detection are pushing toward consumer-facing ctDNA tests priced closer to $300, $400 as they expand clinical trials and partnerships. Why does this matter? Because ctDNA testing can catch cancer mutations even earlier than some imaging scans. These aren't fully mainstream yet, but they're close. 2025 may finally be the year where liquid biopsies scale down in cost and scale up in adoption. If you're watching your wallet but still want cutting-edge tech, these next-gen kits will be worth tracking. Number 10. Combo panels with genetics plus cancer markers. Finally, the hybrid panels, where genetics meet real-time tumor markers. Think of them as dual coverage. Your inherited cancer risk, like BRCA1-2, Lynch syndrome genes, plus live tumor markers, like CA125 or PSA. Companies like Invitae and Color Genomics already offer hereditary cancer risk tests for as low as $250. Pairing that with a $49 CEA or a $70 PSA test gives you powerful foresight. Not only what your genes say about your future, but whether something is actively happening right now. For families with strong cancer history, this layered approach makes sense. It's not the cheapest route, but considering genetic tests used to cost thousands, today's $200, $300 price point feels like a steal. So, which test is worth it? If money is no issue, Galleri or Guardant Shield give you the widest net. But if you want bang for your buck, combining a $199 basic cancer panel with a cheap PSA for men or CA125 HE4 for women will cover a lot of ground for under $300. Add genetic testing if you have a strong family history. At-home kits are a practical way to start, especially for people who never see doctors until something's wrong. They're not perfect, but they lower the barrier. And the sooner you spot trouble, the higher your odds of beating it. The bottom line? Cancer doesn't care about your excuses, your budget, or your fear. But today, you can take action for less than what you'd spend on a weekend getaway. The only real mistake is pretending you're fine while something grows silently inside you. At the Ageless Protocol, we've secured exclusive discounts on certified supplements and wellness tools that support cellular health and longevity. Because testing is just step 1, prevention is step 2. Links are below if you're ready to stop gambling with your health. Hit follow, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. Because every week, we're exposing apart health myths and showing you how to actually take control of your biology.